going on, everybody? Jake here. Jake plays. Oh, you know, just a fabulous Frizzity Friday. You guys know what it is. It's the day where you get to eat French fries. What? Anyway, we are back on Route 15. You guys didn't catch us on last episode. We just did a whole bunch of battles on Cycling Road. You know, it was nice because we were getting 6 trainers in there, but I don't know if the experience we were getting kind of worked out there. So we're just going to come back over this way. I know that we also were a little bit stronger than some of the other ones over here. We didn't have to worry so much about some typing advantages or disadvantages, if you will. And plus, you know, a little bit of a change of scenery. You know, I don't want to spend too long in one area. I don't want to spend too long training. Anyway, what's up with you guys? How was everybody's week? I mean, second week of the year already over. I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh my god, like, can you believe it? The year's just flying by. But just, you know, I know that personally I got a couple of things coming up in the next couple weeks. Obviously, Valentine's Day's coming up. You know, what up? Got a boys' trip in January, which is going to be nice for a weekend that's undisclosed because I'm not quite sure which weekend it is, to be honest with you. Oh, speaking of typing disadvantages and advantages, definitely screwed up on this one. If I'm not mistaken, this is where we almost took that big fat L earlier when we weren't paying attention. And I believe Trevor Jr. got hit with Thunder or Thunderbolt. So, yeah, probably Thunderbolt. So let's bring in Magic Man. Let's get him a little bit of experience, if you know what I'm talking about. Take down this little Pikachu. I believe it's a Raichu up next. She goes, "Arg, I can't believe I lost generic," whatever she says. You would think we would remember by now because we've been going through it so many times, but nope. Still don't. We do remember that one where she's like, "I live alone, so I have Pokemon to whatever." Wow. And the one guy's like, "Fork over all your cash." Aw, Becky. Or Becky. Picnicker Becky. Oof. Those are the words that we meant to say there. We only got 3. We didn't get these 2. Yeah, that's right. We didn't get this one either. Nah, that's the lady that lives with her Pokemon at home. Fork over all your cash when you lose to me, kid. Whoa. Crazy biker Alex. More like Alex the not so great. I'm sure you guys have been waiting. I'm sure like that was the first thing one of you had come up with, like whenever we first ran into him. Maybe episode, I'm gonna say, when did we first run into Alex? So we're on Route 15 and we definitely did things wrong. We didn't take Cycling Road down and right. We actually came this way. I am gonna say we ran into Alex around episode 30, 32. Didn't look this up beforehand. Now I'm curious. Oh, speaking of which, we were talking about something last week. That disgusting color. I don't know if anybody guessed it, but I actually left a little hint in that video's page. It's in the video details or video info. But yeah, it's a pretty ugly color. It's like you would think it's the name of it, you would think is very pretty, like a pink or a purple or, you know, maybe like not quite a lavender. Lavender is a little too whatever. But you would think, no, chartreuse. Yo, what even, I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this on a TV or if you're watching on a streaming, go ahead, pull out your phone, keep this video playing in the background, look up chartreuse, tell me it's a bad. If you're watching on your phone, just pause the video real quick, open up Google. I don't want to steer you away from this video, but you need to see this color. And if you can't spell it, go to last video, 52. Again, look down, not in the comments, but in the video info, video details. It'll be there. The real ones know what's up. Anyway, so that's a disgusting color. That crit mattered. We're going crazy. That's a Pokemon. That's a wall. That's a wall. Walls are everywhere. And a roof. Isn't a roof just a wall up? What's the difference between a floor and a roof? Because sometimes roofs can be floors and floors can be roofs. And also, why is it hooves, H-O-O-V-E-S, and not roofs, R-O-O-V-E-S? for the plural. Seems a little sketchy if you ask me. Those are just some of the things that we're thinking about today on this episode of Jake Plays Pokemon FireRed Nuzlocke episode 53. I think we have said this many times before. I know I was really hoping to be at the Elite Four today. I don't honestly think we can get here with this team. I do think we are pretty dang close. I don't think that we're going to survive that well. And I do one of the tricks in the back pocket, if you will. Whoa, I see you over there. One of the tricks in the back pocket, aside from getting poisoned, Tyler, come on, buddy. You gotta stop eating those not good berries. One of the tricks we have in our back pocket is while we can't necessarily heal, we can't go to, in between all battles, we can't go back to the Poké Center, heal up, refill our PP on moves. But what we can do is with our TMs, we can teach a Pokemon a TM in between battling the Elite Four. And that way, it gets rid of the one that doesn't necessarily, we're not using anymore, and it puts on either a stronger one or, forgot we're poisoned. Oh, baby, that was almost a big mistake. More like a mistakey poo-hoo. Of course, whoops. Oh, man, we are just rocking and rolling on all cylinders today. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so now we're back. Okay, here we go. And we got to keep in mind that Picnicker Becky up here does have those electric Pokemons, which not only is Trevor Jr. not good against, but also, oh crap, Larry had a, too. He had an item we wanted to pick up. Carl. It was Carl. I forgot Carl's name for a moment. Doesn't mean I don't care about you, Carl. Just means that it slipped my mind momentarily. Just like remembering to eat lunch today. That definitely slipped my mind and I forgot. And I even set myself up for success. I'm trying to do this, let's not be a giant tub of lard and eat like McDonald's or Burger King every day. Which, by the way, it's not okay to do that in the sense of like, it's not healthy for you, but you can definitely keep eating those meals. They are delicious. Let me tell you, we did it again. We put out Trevor Jr. when we should have had probably Tyler out there to get some experience, because that's who we're working with right now. Hitting us with the quick attack, kind of rude if you ask me. Hitting us again with the quick attack. Let's finish him with the confusion. Take this small mouse boy down. Dunzo McFunzo. That's what you get. Beautiful. Love it. Also, I don't know if you guys did notice. I think I've mentioned before, obviously we got the Funko Pops behind, but there are the Squishmallows back there as well. Not sure if you guys collect Squishmallows either. I'm not saying that I do, but they exist. I'm going to let out a little secret if you all didn't already know, but so 5 and Below does Squishmallows. So I should say, if you know Squishmallows, they can be a little bit expensive. They can be a little out of certain price ranges. Depending on where you're going, they're like, whew. Yeah, but 5 and Below does drops. They're not quite this size. They're more of like the half-size ones. I would say the... they're probably about like big, right? Extra squishy, but they get them, and they're like $5.95 or $5.50. Yeah, at 5 Below, and it's funny because they go, it doesn't say 5 and Below. The name is just 5 Below. Like, my name is Jake Plays. Like, well, actually, my name is Jake, and I am playing games, so it is technically Jake Plays. Anyway, but yeah, 5 Below is like, everything in here does. And they also sell Funko Pops there. I have come across Pokemon cards. I don't know about you guys, but like, I hate when you're trying to find some Pokemon cards online. Obviously, there was the whole boom because of the Paul kid. Not the Paul kid, Paul Brothers. Sorry, not the Paul. The Paul Brothers. They kind of put that kind of what do you want to say? They put the kind of brought that nostalgia back, kind of gave it that steroid boost plus what was going on in 2020 towards the end of the year. But anyway, yeah, I hate when you go to find like Pokemon cards and it'll be like maybe like Battle Styles is definitely one of the newer ones that I don't like, but like Steam Siege, like I said, Battle Styles, like you'll go in there and they're going to be like, oh yeah, like normal pack of Pokemon cards shouldn't be more than $5. I understand the $4.99ers out there. I mean, it should realistically be $3.99 because, come on. But I don't go over $5. Like you'll see again, Battle Styles, Steam Siege. There was a dragon one from a couple years ago that was just, and it like they'll be like, oh, these are going to be at least 3 times. So it'll be like, or 2x or 3x, and you're like, I'm not paying $12 to get a fighting style Urshifu. Like, come on now, like no, not doing that. Or oh, you know, you could do this. I got a Family Dollar. I got blind packs where it was just like you just pay the fee of the $3.99, I think it was, and you had to buy them. And it was, now that I'm bringing it up and I'm actually kind of thinking more about it, because it's, so you had to buy 36, so it was like a box, but they made sure to say they're not going to be it could be a box, it could be singles. It was you were getting 36 packs. How you were getting them, you know, it didn't exactly tell, so it could be mixed up. My hope at the time, I think when I did it, it wasn't Battle Styles was out, Vivid Voltage was out, but anyway, I forget, but it was right around that time, you know, early 2021, like February, March era, February, March 2 years ago. So I ordered it, and I was like, maybe I'll at least get, you know, because the one that I was having a hard time was Shining Fates. It was a hard time getting those. I remember going into a comic book shop and when they dropped and having to pay like 50, no, not 50, it was like 70 for an Elite Trainer box, which is only the 8 packs. Nothing much, you know, a deck of a stack of energy, and then like, you know, the accoutrements that come with it, you know, your little damage markers and stuff. Nothing too exciting, but again, it was like 70 or 80 bucks for one of those, and I was like, I mean, yeah, but I was hoping, what I'm trying to say is I was kind of hoping that it would have been maybe one of those, but no, when I got it, it was 36, like we said, we already know it was 36, but they were individuals, they were the long sleeves, well, not the long sleeve, but it was like, I'll show you, you know, it looked just like, you know, one of these guys that you would see sitting there, you know, it's kind of wrapped, so the pack is in there, but it was 36 of those, all Steam Siege, and I was like, you know, because you can get, not that, you know, not that you, I don't know if you can now, but I definitely know before 2020, so we're talking like, even beginning of January, February 2020, you could get a box, you know, the 36, the box for less than $100, you know. So I remember buying, just like I remember going into the comic book shop, like I said, and being able to walk out with a couple boxes or cases there for nothing. I don't want to say nothing because it obviously was money, but it wasn't like, yeah, it was, you'd walk in and yeah, I mean, Steam Siege, not to keep picking on it, but that was one that at the time, because they weren't that popular, you just walk into your Target, Walmart, comic book shop, and sometimes you could talk to someone and maybe you go online. Like I remember definitely getting one for $60 on eBay. Box was a little in rough condition, but you know, for the most part, it was essentially a sealed box. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, those are the days, if you will. I mean, which does definitely lead us, like, talking about this does bring up the growing up, got 2 brothers, and it was just like Pokemon cards, yo. Like, we stayed with our grandmother every summer, just for like a week or 2. You know, we stayed with family all during the summer as like mini kind of vacations and stuff to get change of scenery. And my grandmom took us to farmer's market, like a rodeo kind of thing, but like a farmer's market where, you know, everybody buys their first pocket knife and stuff like that from. And I was just like, remember seeing, and I definitely remember that there was a whole, like, I want to say, row. It wasn't. I'm actually over exaggerating because I'm trying to say mile, but I'm like, no, that's not. It wasn't a mile of tables. It was like, you know, those collapsible white tables, probably like a dozen of them, you know, end to end, and they were just Pokemon cards laid out. There was Magic the Gathering too. You know, I think those were the two big ones, and then, you know, baseball cards and stuff. But there was one or two tables of just Pokemon cards, Lucy's, that were just sitting in a, you know, sitting in a little plastic sleeve, just kind of out there. It would be funny, like, sometimes the wind would blow and some of the cards would just, whoa, and then, like, you know, one of the guys is like, oh, you know, the $2, you know, and these were, I'm talking like these were, because Fossil was definitely out, so it would have been, I guess, Team Rocket. I mean, it was all those, that first, second gen kind of stuff. No, it was all first gen, because it was before Gold and Silver. I definitely remember that. But anyway, going down a rabbit hole, we don't need to be going down for exact time frame. But, you know, it's all Gen 1, you know, base set cards. And then, you know, like I said, the Fossil cards or Jungle cards. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Like, like, guys selling them for such a low amount, because that's only what they were worth at the time. And obviously no one's going to be like, oh, you should have held on to them because then you could have sold them for all the money and bought a house. In this economy? Okay. No, but it's just crazy. Like, I don't really know where we're going with that one. It don't matter. We're just kind of free flowing. We're just doing some training. It's kind of like when we're, you know, when you're just kind of hanging out with someone, with your best friend, or even just a regular friend, or even just someone you might know. And sometimes it's just like, and the other one's like, nah. The guys just break out laughing over just like, you're like, dude, chartreuse. Hilarious, if you ask me. Anyway, if you haven't looked up chartreuse, by the way, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this color, but it is gross and disgusting, and it's kind of a pretty, I mean, it's not really a pretty name, but it's definitely like something that you would be like, oh, this is like a pinkish, purpley, you know, rosy on the lighter red yellows kind of spectrum. And you're just like, oh, this is, okay, this is, wow, okay, wow, I can't believe you've done this. Hey, we got 4 on that one. Once we get the 5, that would be pretty nice. T-Lore is already in the front. He's going to get paralyzed because these turds have that static on them, or that static shock. Yo, remember that, yo. WB had some hype cartoons then. I mean, you had Static Shock, X-Men Evolutions. What was that Jackie Chan one with the dragon or something? Was that WB or Nickelodeon? I don't remember. Great shows, great. And then there was the, I guess that was X-Men Evolutions because it was Spike. I was going to say the new mutant they introduced, but yeah, that was Evolutions. Cool. Speaking of X-Men, yo, that had me hype. Like, I mean, it seems like the past couple episodes we're just on like a nostalgia kick, so let's just lean into it and let's just keep kind of going with it. Like, and just like we said with Ninja Turtles, this isn't news. You grew up in the 90s. The X-Men, that animated cartoon, the animated series, I believe it's officially called X-Men TAS, the animated series, available on Disney Plus. Not sponsored, but I definitely recommend getting. I think they have Evolutions on there too. I forget if they had the 4th season. I do remember watching X-Men Evolutions, and the 4th season was like, because it was Scott and Havoc, Scott's brother. Oh, why am I blanking on the name now? But yeah, with Scott and his brother, they went into Magneto's machine to become, they came out with all like the white hair and their powers were intensified. I think that's where season 3 ended, and season 4, like, we're like, what's going on? Or maybe that's how, yeah, And then like season 4 just kind of, you could barely find it. It was in just purgatory somewhere. But honestly, I don't even think I've had a chance to really even watch it, or if I did, it was like some copy that I downloaded using a Kazaa back in the day, which we're going to get into a whole thing about the internet, Kazaa, LimeWire, all that fun, Azarus, all that fun jazz. But yeah, no, X-Men. Yo, I remember like X-Men, Wolverine. If you didn't like Wolverine, something's wrong with you, right? I mean, you can like what you like. We're just kind of saying general consensus, and the general consensus for the past almost 30 years since Wolverine's good soup, as the cool kids like to say. Oops, did not mean to hit that to switch. We don't want to worry about that. Grimer, whoa, watch out. Yeah, you had like Wolverine was in there, and then it was crazy because what's his face? Was it Morph? I think dies in the first episode. So you're just like, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but it definitely was like 5 or 6 watching that. Barely understand, like barely became like self-aware and conscious, and now I have to deal with the mortality of death in a cartoon that's supposed to be like, what? And I'm not definitely going to go into, because everybody's beating it to death. Oh, you know, they were talking about race and this and that and whatnot. Like, we're not worried about that. We're just going with straight nostalgia, how great it was, how awesome it was. Bro, that one of the Halloweens, I want to say maybe 4th grade or 3rd grade, but definitely dressed up like Wolverine in a, it was a handmade, you know, my mom made it, little outfit, had, you even take like little wooden dowels and spray painted them like silver gray, and then like, you know, they were hot glued to the glove, you know, and I remember like getting made fun of because people were like, oh, like, this was back when like it was homemade, it was pretty heckin' great, like it was pretty quality, but it was, you know, it was homemade. And I remember someone had like a store-bought one, and they were like, oh, he's Wolverine because yours is homemade and his is way better looking than yours. And I highly doubt that, because I'm going to see if I can rummage around and find a picture. I don't know if we have any or one does it justice, but it was a pretty great one. But I remember, because you know how they, which I don't know if they still do. I bet you they probably still do, because it's a part of childhood trauma that everybody has to go to. The Halloween parade, where they'd line you up in costumes and have you march around outside, and all your parents and other people are just like, oh my god, it's a bunch of kids, look how cute they are, oh. But it's just like, alright, that crit mattered. Everybody line up, we're gonna go, we're gonna march, and we're gonna show off how spooky and stuff that we are, and doop. But I remember like when we were waiting for our turn to go out, because we were just sitting there, crisscross applesauce, yo, and I put my hand down, and a guy came, and then he sat on my hand, and he broke the dowels for my claws, and I was like, oh, ruined it. And that was on, and like the parade at school was on Halloween, so you know, as soon as you get home from the bus, you already got your costume on. You are grabbing your pillow sheet, and you are out the heckin' door, getting candy. That was, and definitely plastic buckets, all that stuff is cool, but you know you made it when you got the pillow sheet. Yo, the pillow sheet, oh my god, you know what, we're just going to hit these 4 because we're not going to make another jump, because I don't know if we're like, oh, the edge here, gotta be careful. And we got all 5. Go figure, the one time that we're not, you know, up there, we get all 5. So, what are you going to do? What are you gonna do? Huh. But yeah, once you, like, the pillow sheet, by the way, that thing, pillow cover, whatever you want to call it, that thing held all the candy. You get so much candy in there. It is unreal, because it's you don't realize, like, especially when they're giving out like the fun size, like the regular size, which fun size and mini, no, you don't get to make a small, like mini cupcakes. Absolutely not. Kevin from The Office said it best. Why make a smaller version of something that's already that's already a small version of something? What are you doing? Ugh, just get out of here with your mini cupcakes. Don't get me wrong though. I will still eat them. It is cake with cake frostings. I'll eat them, just saying. So like, but fun mini size, I forget, I think it's the mini is like the smallest of them all. And you're like, why? Why did you do this? And the person that got you, nothing was worse than the person who got the mini and you only got like one. And you're like, listen, pal, I don't know if you know about the Wall Street of candy and sizing and everything, but you are not gonna get away with giving me these small one-biters, these small minis. In today's economy, oh, absolutely not. Just, oof. But yeah, and so going back to me having already being, I don't want to say trauma, but like, you know, going through that, like, we're being paraded around showing off our costumes, but also I want people to see it because I have the coolest Wolverine costume on, not whatever his name was. We're going to call him, I don't know. I was going to say Buttface, but even that's rude because he, you know, that would be rude to butts because butts aren't that ugly or that rude. But he, and I remember it broke, and then like I go home and I was like, I don't know. And then it just, and then my mom was like, oh, don't worry. Like, I got you, homie. And then, fixed it. Probably just had another dowel real quick, hot glued it, good to go. And I was like, oh, but, all right, gonna need some candy. You know, it's like someone like going out and like going to the bar, having a drink like after work, like to relax. It's like, now I just need some candy to relax, and then everything's gonna be okay. And then, oh, people that went, that like they had to take one, leave one. Those aren't the bad people. The bad people are when you already get up to that house and someone's already cleaned it out and you're like, oh man, that stinks. What I did like was one person in the neighborhood, like in like the neighborhood we went to, and it was super great because there was a couple neighborhoods over, probably, you know, a couple miles or whatever. We'd have our parents drop us off, or you know, an older friend would pick us up and we'd hit it up. It was like one of those massive mega developments you saw in like, you know, early 2000s where it's like cookie cutter homes and everything. But like, regardless, you got over 100 homes to go to. You are getting candy. And that was the goal. That's the thing too, with these giant ones, you know how it's just like, oh, we've already seen you. They don't know that they've already seen you. Like, there's just so many people. And then, like I said, there's bringing in other people from outside of neighborhoods. So I'd hit up my neighborhood first, and then usually ride a bike down to a buddy's, or we'd hit up like his first. But anyway, the worst was what, like we said, when someone dumped it out. But what I did like is some places, because they didn't want to be that person that, oh, like, listen, it's street justice. You don't have candy to put out. Maybe, maybe not. Your house gets egged. Maybe, maybe not. Toilet paper comes out. And here's the thing, because where we grew up in the Northeast here, we didn't just, you know, it wasn't just like that night. We had Mischief Night. So, like, for those of you who don't know, Mischief Night is the night before Halloween. On the 30th is where the teenagers go out and they get to, like, you know, cause vandalism, if you will, for lack of better words. You know, their toilet paper in cars, trees, eggs at windows. That's pretty much it, is the eggs and toilet paper. And it was always like, remember the week of, it was hard. Like my mom would always be like, can't get eggs because like you gotta you gotta get ID'd to get eggs, because all the local places were just like, no, we're not. Obviously, like the night's coming up, we're gonna be throwing eggs on everything. We are not giving eggs to like a 13 and 14-year-old or a group of like 4 or 15-year-olds. Yeah, I bet you're making breakfast for your moms. You guys are really nice, aren't you? I'll tell you what, why don't you come back next week, first week in November, and if that's still the case, you can buy the eggs then. But yeah, that was the thing. Like, if you didn't have the candy out, even if you put the bowl out with the good intentions and then candy was gone, there was no candy, you still may have faced some retaliation. But what some people did to avoid it is, if they knew they weren't going to be around and they obviously were tired of cleaning up eggs and yolks and, you know, all that jazz, they would give the neighbors either, you know, slip them a little cashola, or they would, you know, be like, oh, but there'd be a note and it would say, hey, you know, we're out of town. If you go next door, or even that person, like the neighbor that was giving them out, would just be like, oh yeah, like this is one piece from us and then one piece from them because they're not home. And, you know, so that way you could still get the candy. And yeah, I'm sure it was just a scam. Like, I bet they were just being nice and being like, oh, I guess they're out of town. We'll make sure that the kids still get 2 pieces, even though they were only giving out 1 piece. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. If not, I mean, sorry if I didn't make it clear. Obviously, that's on me. My bad. But like, yeah. We didn't do enough steps. We were so busy with battling. Yeah, I mean, Halloween, definitely for sure. I remember watching a Stephen King movie, Dreamcatcher, the one year when it was out on DVD, going back to what we were talking about when we got the rental. I think that was when we had a Blockbuster in town, because that movie came out like 04 or 05. Maybe actually earlier than that. It might have been 03. Anyway, but yeah, watch Dreamcatcher. So it was like one of those like, oh, you know, it's so crap. We should not have Trevor Jr. out. We've made a dire mistake. Barry, I'm going to need you to go out because you have a little bit more health. And this is how we end up losing a Pokemon because somebody's not paying attention. I think we should have high enough speed that evasiveness doesn't hurt us. I should say he is not able to run around. We should be able to still hit him. I know if you were to kind of get 2 or 3 of those off, that's when we might be in some trouble. Well, we got the static. We maybe got paralyzed. This is just overall no bueno. No es bueno, if you will. Picnicker Becky sent out Raichu. And we're going to go ahead and hit him with the Brick Break after we have our defense lowered. Don't like that. But we're going to one-shot him. No chance, Jimmy's Johns. Goodbye, Raichu. Go to sleep. Love it. Beautiful. Picnicker Becky, you're done. No, wrong. Yeah, well, no, wrong, your face. Yeah. Whoa, hey kid, come on. I got these off some loser. Rude of him to say that, because that's rude. Ernest P. Worrell. Yeah, we got the gauntlet. We got all 5 trainers. This is the one we were talking about last time. We forgot. He had 3 coughings, doesn't he? He's got the 3 coughings, the wheezing, the Grimer, or it's the 2 coughing. Well, we're going to find out. So why are we even pretending to like, oh my goodness gracious, blah. Oh man. Speaking of spooky Pokemons like Lavender Town, well, I mean, we were talking about Halloween, so we weren't really talking, just trying to be like, whoa, spooky. Keep the theme up of what we were talking about. Candy's good. Yo, I know it's out of season, but what's y'all's favorite candy? Drop them in the comments. Let me know what you guys like. Personally, I'm a huge fan. Like, if we're doing candy, so definitely, here's what we'll do. We'll do, depending on how old you are, why don't you give me one candy that you liked as a kid, one candy you liked as a teenager, and then let's do from, here's how we'll do it. From 0 to 10 years old, what was your favorite candy? From 11 to 20 years old, put what's your favorite candy. And if you're over 21, then you can put a third candy saying, oh yeah, you know, my favorite candy was this. No, actually, don't do that. Scratch that. Let's not put that down. Why don't you just put your 3 favorite candies? Put them in the order. Let's rank them. 1, 2, 3. Everybody comment down below. What was your favorite candies? 1, 2, 3. We'll do it in reverse order for myself. So number 3, favorite candy is gonna have to be just the classic Hershey's with almonds, though. So that's the key part is chocolate bar, chocolate almonds, delicious, love it, 100%. No, you know what? Actually, we're gonna change that. Let's take the Hershey's with no, Hershey's with almonds is pretty good. Yeah, you know what? Let's just leave top 3. Hershey's with almonds is number 3. We are going to go at number 2. Where are we at with Pokemans? Trevor Jr. is still good to fight. We just don't want to fight up top, and we'll just give Magic Man a couple of reps. We'll do one more kind of loop here to run it in while we kind of figure out what our candies are. So, yeah, we have number 3. Excuse me. So we have number 3 is that Hershey's with almonds, especially if you, yeah, Hershey's almonds. Number 2, we're definitely going to have to go with sour. Hey, we got all 6. Heck yeah. Well, she's got the Pikachu's, so let's not, or the Pikachu and the Raichu. Let's throw Carl in, or Magic Man, because, yeah, let's not throw Carl in, because Carl's going to get zapped out of the sky. Magic Man will be able to bingo bango. Ain't that right? Number 2 is going to have to be something sour. Or like a chewy, just like a fruity candy. I think it's gonna, and this is kind of breaking the own thing, because I'm thinking between Sour Skittles or Mike and Ike's. We're gonna definitely go Sour Skittles, because we do want to go sour with that. So Sour Skittles are good. I'll put them in number 2. So we have the Hershey's with the almonds, number 3, Sour Skittles, number 2. Number 1, which just hands down, and I remember where I was. This is how good this candy bar was. I remember where I was the first time. Not only did I hear about that this thing existed, but that I tasted it. You know what I mean? Like, and oh, this is a newer candy. This is one that has been invented in my lifetime. So it's a delicious one. So I remember I was visiting my uncle and my aunt out in California, and we were going to it was at the time, this is kind of crazy, right? It was at the time that it was the world's only great white shark that was in captivity, and it was in Monterey Bay, in Monterey Aquarium, California. And I remember we were staying in a hotel room because we had driven down from San Francisco, or driven up. This is where I'm blanking on that. But remember we drove down and it was on a commercial in there, and it was just like, that looks like everybody. It was me, my brothers, my aunt, my uncle. We were just looking, it was just like, that looks like one of the greatest candies of all time. Let me pop off some ingredients for you while we're healing up here. So you have your chocolate, right? Love it. Can't go wrong with chocolate. Chocolate's great. Chocolate's chocolate. You know what I mean? It's the OG. Then there's a pretzel in it. Okay? So you might be saying to yourself, chocolate, pretzel? Is this a Flips? Is this a, which, oh, speaking of which, chocolate covered pretzels, you know what's low key that you don't really think about until you actually think about it? Yogurt covered raisins, yogurt covered pretzels. It has, what is this? First of all, what is this yogurt that tastes like chocolate? That's amazing. I wish the yogurt I eat in the morning didn't taste like I licked, a cow's butt. Now, I mean, it doesn't actually taste like that, but it doesn't have a cheese taste. I don't know. I don't like the Greek yogurt. I don't like it. I like the yogurt that's on a pretzel. Like those yogurt covered pretzels. Those are my new jam. Trader Joe's, you keep that up, my guy. Yeah, so we got the chocolate, we got the pretzel. It has caramel, so it's not a chocolate covered pretzel. It's not a Flips. I know you were like, oh, I already know what it is. It's chocolate, it's pretzel, chocolate covered pretzel. It is not that. This is not, okay, we're good. Got nervous because we got a grass type going up against our water type. So we got the chocolate, we got the pretzel, the caramel. It's not a Rolo because Rolo doesn't have pretzel. I know, I saw where you're going with that. And Rolos are significantly older than me, I think. Oh, Trevor Jr.'s trying to learn Hyper Beam, eh? Nah, we're gonna pass on the same reason that it's just not to do it. But we do have the TM. I think we had 2 of them last time we checked, so that's good to know. So it's chocolate, pretzel, peanut butter, caramel, and then peanut butter. Yeah, then peanut butter. Was it? I think it is peanut butter. Chocolate, pretzel, caramel, peanut butter. Yes. Delicious. I think you kind of see where I'm going with this. We already got 4 ingredients. I don't know anything that I mean, it's not a... Well, actually, I think now you're probably like, I think I know what it is, actually. Threw me for a curve a little bit there. But you might have guessed what it is. So we had... Let's just make sure we got everything. So we have number 3 as the Hershey's bar with almonds. Fantastic maneuver. Second one, sour Skittles. Delicious AF. And this one, the number 1, is, again, has chocolate, peanut butter, caramel, pretzel, and I believe it's got a little bit of nougat. It's a take 5. 5 ingredients, take 5, my guy. Yeah, I was in California, in Monterey, going to an aquarium to see the only captive white shark, or the only great white shark in captivity. It's not there anymore. I think it was only temporary because I don't think you can keep them. There's a whole thing about it. I remember obviously reading about it. It was a big deal. Not something I haven't kept up on my great white shark literature because honestly the ocean scares me, but I love going to aquariums. It's a whole oxymoron. We will definitely dive into that whole situation because I do have a unnecessary, I don't know what you would want to call it. It's unnatural, not unnatural, because I mean it's just whatever. It's a bad fear of aquariums and the ocean and stuff like that. But I love them. I love them so much. It's so neat seeing everything. But yeah, take 5. So we got the Hershey's bar almonds, sour Skittles, take 5. Top 3, number 1, take 5. Number 2, sour Skittles. Number 3, Hershey's bar with almonds. It is just the bee's knees. And I despise that those turds only give you 2. You buy, I mean, it is, don't get me wrong. If you have like a lot of take 5s, you start taking 5 pounds, and adding on to your scale. You get a little chunky, if you will. You start to look like Lola, the fat cat, oh, little chunky. Yeah, take 5s are definitely where it's at. Heckin' delicious. I can't think of a... And how did it... Was it just that it took them... Like, everybody was like... Do you think secretly people were just like... I mean, chocolate with pretzels, fantastic. Caramel, peanut butter, chocolate, nougat. Everything is just delicious. And, like, you're telling me that nobody had the idea to be like, yo, let's see if we can mix all of this together. Like, all of these ingredients... That would be where it's at. Like, think about it. There's probably something out there right now. I mean, there's definitely something out there right now that if we mixed 5 of the ingredient together, not only would we get a delicious twist on a new something or whatever, but like, or it would go the opposite. It could be terrible. It could be, well, I think we can come up with more. I guess it's like if you mix, because chocolate on its own, delicious. Pretzels on its own, delicious. Caramel, delicious. Peanut butter, delicious. Nougat. I'm not one of those weirdos that, eats the candy bar piece by piece. Like, you see those people with the Kit Kat, and they'll, like, chew off all the chocolate, and then they have the wafer, and you're just like, I mean, if that's what you're into, cool. Or, I guess nougat's Three Musketeer, or no, isn't that just... I think that was fluffy chocolate. But I need no ma. I do know that nougat is in a Snickers, and I'm definitely not one of those people. Snickers, bro, I'm munching one of those. Just... So I've never really had nougat, so I can't really say. And I definitely, like I said, am not one of those people who either baked it for myself and was like, oh my god, like I'm just gonna whip up some nougat. And I'm also not someone who just eats nougat, so I don't really know. I mean, it's in the candy bars. It can't be bad, right? And even thinking about, like, just the experiment to come up with it, it's all good stuff on its own. And you would be like, yeah, like, of course that'd be a great idea. No duh. And then you actually put it in practice, and it's a fantastic idea. It's where, like, the sum of its parts is more than, some of its parts is more than what it turns into. Or not. I mean, whatever. Maybe you don't like chocolate. Maybe you're allergic to peanut butter. I understand. It's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to have a good time, have some fun. What I would recommend is, again, dropping them down, 1, 2, 3. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know if you got any things from Halloween, any memories you want to share or anything like that. That'd be pretty neato burrito. With that being said, guys, we've been training. We've been going through it. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. See you on Monday.